Hi guys, welcome to my channel, Truly Management. Today we have one guest from 2018 FPM batch, so she will introduce herself.
Hi everybody, I am Akanksha Chadha and I am FPM 2018 batch in finance and accounting area. And so prior to that I did my BCom honors from Punjab University, Chandigarh, and then I did my MBA PGDM in finance from MD Ghaziabad, so 2015. I worked with care ratings for a year, and then I decided that I wanted to go into academics because academics interested me from the very beginning. And so I decided to give a JRF, which I basically qualified in the first attempt, and then I thought, why not make it? Why not try and do a PhD, because nowadays PhDs are mandatory for a teaching job.
Just tell me,
इसमें थोड़ा change करोगे आप? हाँ.
tell me, why FPM and why not PhD?
Sorry.
I mean, why you decided that
Okay.
you should apply for FPM program and not a PhD program?
Okay. So actually, when I was applying for PhDs versus FPM, so I was applying for PhDs also. So I applied in Punjab University, and I got through that, which is also close to my home, and they also have pretty decent, PhDs. But so I wanted to actually go out and explore because I really heard that IIMs actually do a very good job of teaching their students. So they do not have they do not have a PhD degree. So that's why FPM is actually equivalent to PhD.
Right.
So it does not really make that much of a difference. Plus, I really like the part where they had a lot of additional funds for conferences and outside conferences, and they also had a lot of experience. And so I talked to a few people before that, and so I talked to some. So there was FPM representatives prior batches. So I talked to them, and so they told me about their views, and so I really liked it.
So you were in touch with some of the existing, current
Yes.
FPM batches, so
Yes.
that you can get an idea how
Right.
this goes. Okay, and then when you decided that you have to prepare for FPM program and then you have to join it, then how you actually started preparing for it? What were the strategies that you initially adopted? Because obviously it's a competitive exam, and then you have to get through all the process.
Right. So at first I didn't know that there was a separate RAT for IIM Indore.
Okay.
So that's why I gave a net, because so if I had known that some colleges, actually IIM Bangalore also, they do not need a JRF or anything. So you could actually just go through the RAT exam.
Right.
So I didn't know that. So I wanted to actually apply for other IIMs also. So I wanted to apply for IIM Ahmedabad. But with the JRF, it's not possible to apply in finance.
Okay.
For IIM Ahmedabad. So there was only OB which was available, because I had a JRF in management. I could apply. I was eligible to apply for OB, HR, and even strategy, I think. Yeah. So I could apply, but then I asked some of my mentors from my previous institute, MD Ghaziabad. So they told me that do not apply for OBHR when you want to do, or a strategy when you want to do it in finance, because that is not usable. You should not just settle for things. Instead, you should not apply. So I did not apply. Then I applied to IIM Indore. I applied to IIM Calcutta, and I applied to ISB Hyderabad.
Okay. Only three IIMs.
Only three institutes I applied to.
Yeah.
I had already converted the Punjab University, so it was like a second, just a test to see whether I could make it.
Right. Yeah. So what about IIM Calcutta? Did you get a call from IIM Calcutta?
Yes, actually I did. So they called about 60 people.
Okay.
For the interview, and so they took, I think, one.
Okay.
So it was a very tough interview.
And what about ISB?
No, I didn't get it.
Okay. So let us start with this IIM Calcutta experience, because definitely there are many people who will be applying for IIM Calcutta. Correct. So how was your interview, and what was the procedure that you went through?
So when we went to IIM Calcutta, so there were a lot of people. So you were wondering how many people are they going to take for finance, because they called 60 people for finance. So then in interviews we prepared some subjects. So I had prepared corporate finance, and I had prepared statistics. So these were the two subjects which I had prepared while before going for the interview. Also valuation, one more. So these were the three subjects which I had prepared. So the interview didn't actually go according to plan. Because I thought that they'll ask they'll ask what you've studied, and they'll ask just from that, but they did not. So they were asking from a very broad, diverse range of topics, and they asked accounting. So I think they were more focused on accounting, which I thought that they wanted more of people who wanted to do an FPM in accounting rather than finance. So I found that one thing. Second thing, the interview was a stress interview. Definitely.
For how long this interview was?
For 20-25 minutes. It was a stress interview, and they just asked me. So what my prior. So I had some publications. They were not very good, but they asked me about it, and so they just kept on grilling me on that part, because I did not completely know how to do research at that point in time.
Absolutely.
So they just kept grilling me on that, and. Overall, it was. I was able to answer few of the questions because some accounting I remembered. But apart from that, so they were focusing more on your other prior research publications and prior what have you done before.
Right.
Yeah. So I'm Calcutta.
About IIM Calcutta, how many interviews were there in the panel?
So there were 3.
Okay.
So one was, I think, Professor Ashok Banerjee.
Okay.
So I think you might have heard of him, very famous there.
Okay.
There were 2 other professors. Sorry, there was one female. I don't remember her name.
Okay.
And there was one more. So the other one was very supportive. Even Ashok sir was very supportive, and he was answering normal questions. But that there was this professor. I forgot her name, but she was asking some. Stress interview, and she was taking it more towards the stress interview part.
So they were more inclined towards the accounting rather
accounting, yes. Accounting.
Okay, so probably maybe they were looking for somebody who is in who can specialize in accounting rather than the
maybe, yes.
Okay. And how many people were called for the interview? I mean, you must have met other aspirants as well over there.
Yeah, finance 60.
60.
They called 60 people for interview in finance, and they were also giving that reimbursement of third days here.
Right. So any idea how many actually finally? I mean, how many finally got selected?
I think 1.
Okay. So it's not necessary that if 60 people are called, then probably like 10 or 12 of them will get selected. In fact, even one or maybe nobody will get a call, final call. So that is more of a luck, and also many other factors. About the SOP. Yeah, you must have written SOP for the IIMs, like even IIM Indore and Calcutta. I received this query, often I get a mail requesting a request mail from aspirants that what should I write in the SOP? For finance area, what should be the specific content that you would recommend should be there in the SOP?
Okay. So I think first of all you need to start with what your research interest is. So I wrote that my interest is banking. So you have to defend your interest after that. So that my interest is banking. Why? Because I have done some so I've come from the industry or something like that, and I've had some background with banking. Also, I should be able to narrow down some of my interests, not just banking, but something into banking, like a particular interest area, like NPAs, or they could be anything. So you have to write your particular area. I think so. If you want behavioral, so you can write behavioral, why behavioral, and so you need to follow a structure that this is my area of interest, this is my broad area of interest, this is my because this is my background, and then how do I justify and what is my current standing on that part. So I say that if I have carried out some research, what is my standing? Have I done something previously which will help me build that up or not?
Okay, so structuring your SOP is very important, where you can discuss your interests as well as your prior experience, where you can relate with it, and finally why I'm aiming for IIM and some other explaining things, right?
Yes.
And when you were interviewed, so what were the areas, especially in Calcutta? So you told me that you were asked questions which were more towards the accounting part. So did they ask you about your interest area? Did they ask you the research thing that this is topic that you want to
Yes.
Okay.
They ask interest areas also, and they ask how will you go about it? What is your so if your question is you want to do for any question that you have, so what is what statistical technique you will use, what is your equation, how do you write it, so all that they'll ask you questions